Hello, internets! Welcome
Hello.
to another episode of RedemptionCast. This is a biannual angel history podcast where Robin tells us a story, and I have no idea what it's about
Yeah.
because I watched these episodes a month ago.
Bringing up my recorder here, and I'm going to record
Are you
Google.
going to play a little tune?
Make sure you're recording everybody.
Yeah, I got to make sure to record everybody. Just did a little screw up last night.
I know this show's about a guy named Angel who has a soul and he's glad to see ya.
3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, I know. I missed the old theme. I might just have to put it in this week. That's what she said.
You changed the theme?
It's not appropriate to say that's what she said in this political climate.
What? It is when he's alluding to a woman pegging a guy. So, I think it's totally cool. Peg the patriarchy, motherfuckers.
Yeah. All right, let's get going.
That's
You're listening
exactly
to
what I
Redemption.
meant. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. You're listening to Redemption Cast, Season 4, Episodes 19 and 20, The Magic Bullet and Sacrifice. The search for Fred intensifies, but when she finally helps Team Angel see the light, or the maggots, they're forced to hide in the sewers from Deus Ex bug monsters.
Ew.
I'm Robin.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Kimberly.
I'm Illyrio.
And my name was Matt, but I've recently changed it to Jasmine.
Oh, hello.
I'm Jasmine, too.
Boo.
Oh, fun fact, those were real maggots.
Oh, yeah?
The trivia has begun immediately, podcasters and podcaster listeners.
So,
Were they real maggots in the previous episodes, too?
She doesn't know. She didn't listen to the commentary. Wait, she did. I'm assuming that
For the-
it was, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Jeffrey
Probably
Bell
the same shot.
wrote and directed The Magic Bullet, and Steph listened to the commentary for me, so...
And oh my god, he's so dry. He's so monotoned and not funny. Bless
So
his
it was
heart.
excellent.
I was skeptical about an entire episode of Angel dedicated to juicing. And making
It's not just
smoothies.
juicing. It chops, it
I know.
slices, it dices.
It doesn't slice, but it does chop.
I thought it was going to be about the lone gunman's easing. So,
Oh, yeah. Those guys.
I remember them. Hey, we should say if Amy Acker is watching live on YouTube, happy birthday, Amy Acker.
Happy birthday, Amy Acker.
Happy birthday, boo.
Amy. I'll talk to you later.
I did at you. You didn't at me back, but we love you.
Rude.
We love you.
I like her more.
So
Danny Woodburn is my favorite. I loved him on
Oh, yes.
Seinfeld. There's no one like Danny Woodburn. And I was so happy he was in this episode. That scene was the best. And when he starts trying to eat Fred, I cackled with laughter. It was so awesome. It was so great. It was such a funny, out of nowhere moment in such a high tension episode.
Yeah.
It caught me off guard,
Yeah.
and I adored it. It was wonderful.
My least favorite scene in the episode.
Of course, we do need to mention another guest star, which I wrote.
Patrick Fischler?
This guy.
Fischler.
Fischler.
Who's that guy?
Why?
He
Who
was
is he?
on. He was on some fan fiction of Twin Peaks, I think.
Oh yeah.
Fan
yeah.
fiction of Twin Peaks.
The guy who was him.
He was
He
behind the desk.
also took away Suliet from us. Hashtag Suliet. Never forget.
What?
What?
Sawyer and Juliet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, he was in Lost. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Lots of stuff. Yeah, Mulholland
Who are we
Drive.
talking about? Did I watch the same episode?
The owner.
The conspiracy. The conspiracy.
Oh,
There you
gotcha.
go.
That guy.
Enough said.
Anytime he shows up, I'm like, ugh. Do
Wait,
you have?
why?
Why? I like him.
Because he always plays a jerk, and
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, but
Kind of a
he's very
weasel,
interesting.
weaselly face.
Mm,
maybe he's typecast.
more of a ferret, I'd say. But
Patrick, if you're watching, sorry.
happy birthday!
You're some sort of rodent or marsupial, possibly.
And Steph, you don't have this fact from the commentary because I got it from like trivia, but I guess Jeffrey Bell said during the commentary that one of the deciding factors of choosing Patrick for the role of Ted was that he knew how to say MK Ultra correctly. M and K are pronounced as individual letters, not as Mick.
Correct.
McUltra?
Mick Ultra.
What?
So I guess those auditions must have went well.
That's...
I'm gonna say it McUltra from now on.
This is Jeffrey Bell's first experience as a director. He says, what's the word about how he felt direct? Terrifying, he says. Yeah. So anyway, we should start right at the beginning. I mean, the Beach Boys opening. Come on.
It was awesome.
I was
Like-
waiting for when it was going to cut out and then someone was going to jump out and stop it. And I was like, oh, this is going on a little too long. And then boom. Okay, there you go.
There's free ice cream. Crosswalks are observed and cheered on. Like everybody's happy about obeying traffic rules. It's utopia. And then we have super secret agent Fred averting the Jasminites by like switching jackets.
Yeah.
By
The
just
reason
telling-
this freaks me out is because, yes, this is, it's utopian and everything is good, but it's, it's not good. It's, I'm trying
It
to
looks pretty
say?
good to me. It looks pretty good to me right now. I would gladly trade Trump for Jasmine.
Yeah.
Well, with our prime minister basically doing exactly what Jasmine did.
Yes, exactly.
Got everybody fooled. Everybody loves him. Mr. Selfie, Mr. Chewbacca socks.
Oh, yeah, I got to
Mr.
order my calendar, my Justin calendar.
Enjoy the countdown.
Maybe somebody
to,
will get it for me for Christmas.
enjoy the countdown to the commoditization of everything.
I
don't
thought
care.
Justin was Trudeau.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. Can I leave now?
No, you are free to go at any time. You are not captive.
That
It's
was
not like I have a button
horrible.
that's going to lock
Horrible
the
pun.
door.
You're not Matt
Oh
Lauer.
God.
Steph, I thought you were joking when you
I
typed
know.
I was like,
sounds
what?
Like it sounds like a
Anyways.
joke. But
Here's the deal.
Now,
Wait,
but to
parenthesis.
be fair, he
Someone
says
had to
that
install that.
Yeah.
True.
What's,
Okay.
what's
True.
his justification for it?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. We need the
But also,
justification.
like,
Well, didn't Ron Swanson have a button in his office that did the same thing?
Yeah, but he uses it to lock people out.
Yeah.
Very
but Matt
different.
Lauer says that some things in that article were true and some things were not true.
Mm.
So he's admitting to some things, but some things weren't true.
Mm.
So therefore, it casts doubt on everything.
Yes.
Mm.
Ugh, disheartening. Anyways, back to Angel.
I love the whole jacket switch thing, and I love
was
how
awesome.
they stop this girl with the jacket, and she's like, "Oh, Jasmine." She said Jasmine wanted me to have it. It's like people are pretty gullible.
I thought, how are they going to justify this switcheroo? Because I'm like, if some rando who was running past me just said, "Put this on," I'd be like, no.
But if you
But
say,
she said Jasmine wants her to
Yeah,
have
I know.
it. And
And
so,
I was like, okay.
This is utopia. Jasmine makes it so people just hand me stuff off the streets. Yay.
Exactly.
My next note is I wish they did new opening credits just for this episode. You know, I mean, the Beach Boys montage is great, but it would have been great if it was just like starring Gina Torres.
Just like the Jonathan alternate universe kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
Cheap
Missed
bastards.
opportunity.
So people are flooding the hotel, and
Holy cow.
It's like a commune.
this guy tries trading his house in just for a room near Jasmine, like in the same building.
Yeah.
Jasmine's like charming everybody, talking in Spanish, talking in Chinese. I was thinking, Gina Torres probably has a lot of training in Chinese or Mandarin, whatever she spoke, because the Firefly.
Mandarin.
No,
Mandarin.
she couldn't get that right, and they had to fix it in post.
Oh,
But I'm
really?
sure the Spanish. Yeah, I'm sure the Spanish was very easy for her because she's Cuban.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Just the mustache quote is funny. And I just can imagine this guy's like, I am never shaving off this mustache. Jasmine likes it. So yeah, we start seeing Jasmine inviting people up the stairs with her.
Oh, they're so lucky.
So, question for the noobs.
Yeah.
Obviously, you probably suspected something was wrong, but did you have a specific idea in mind of what she was doing with those people, or did you like guess? Oh, she's eating them.
I assumed she was taking them upstairs for sex.
Sex. Okay.
I thought she was consuming them somehow. I just didn't know if she was eating them or if she was like taking their blood or if she was like
Absorbing their energy.
Yeah, something strange I knew was a brewing because they went upstairs but they never came back down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
isn't
they're
that
not being
exactly what I
carted
just
off.
said?
They're not being carted off to the hospital, so she's not doing what Glory did,
No.
like taking their minds. So we have Fred going to this bookstore, and that's where we see Patrick Fischler as Ted. And he's got a book, Making Mind Control Work for You. And that he's trying to beam the love of Jasmine up to the satellites that are
Yeah, like he's still a conspiracy theorist, even though he's under Jasmine's spell.
Mhm.
I
So
don't
weird.
want to steal anybody's quote. Does
Yeah, he
anybody have
knows
a quote from
the
him?
government is still spying on him, but he just doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and yeah, I do have a quote from him.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, that's not the quote I have, but all right.
Buffy Summers in the chat asks, are you saying there's some sort of connection between Jasmine and Glory?
Never gets old.
Never gets old.
By the way,
Always
I want
fun.
to express my wholehearted apology and feel some public shame for the fact that I am only now realizing that was Zach Wilde.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Zach Wilde,
Zach
famous
Wilde.
guitar player, played with Ozzy Osbourne's band for many years. Holy crap. Okay, cool. Sorry, Zach. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, they said they had to keep the kids away from Zach Wilde.
Mhm.
Uh-oh. What's that mean?
Because he was foul
Why?
mouthed. It wasn't because.
Yeah, he wasn't touching them. He was just being a rock star.
But yeah, that whole thing where Lauren puts on he's doing his hourly Jasmine report, and then it's like open mic night, and everybody's going to be paying their respects to Jasmine through song or whatever. I wrote down Steve Holt for some reason. I think there's somebody who was very Steve Holtish in there.
But Connor and Angel were singing together. They were singing Mandy, but they were saying Jasmine.
That was so funny.
Yeah, well, what's great about this episode is Angel and Connor have a good relationship for the first time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have such a great thing in common as just being completely devoted to Jasmine.
Yeah.
So that little kid's name was Lenford?
Really?
What the fuck? Who names a kid Lenford?
Monsters.
His name was like Lenford Ditweiler or some awful. Like, what?
Oh yeah, Jeffrey Bell. It was somebody he knew, and the twins that they referenced. It was twins that he went to high school with. You know, it's just one of those typical. You write an episode and you use names from your life.
Well,
For those of you watching the video, yes, Steph is trapped in the vent that you see when she speaks.
The vent.
Oh, she's escaped.
I just have no way to hold it up, and it falls over and then crashes into the floor. And
I'm just waiting for Ceiling Cat.
oh my gosh, that cat's so cute. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I forgot how cute you were.
Oh, you forgot you didn't name your cat Jasmine, like the lady in this episode.
Oh, we should have. We're gonna. No, her name is Diana.
Is she dirty?
No.
Moving
Dirty
on.
Diana!
No,
Moving on.
she's named after a princess, you perv.
Thought it was the Michael Jackson song. Sorry.
But oh yeah, this whole cult, you know, with Lauren giving the Jasmine update and the singing and the kumbayas. Oh, it's just so icky.
I wrote
It's
Jasmine,
amazing.
the
Everyone's
queen
so
of all
happy.
media.
mm-hmm.
Yep, she's taking over the media just like Hitler, just like Mussolini, just like Lenin, just like Stalin.
I like seeing all these extras. I like all the outdoor stuff, all the LA street scene stuff. They're spending some money here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And minor spoilers for next season, but get used to it because next season looks cheap in comparison.
Oh,
WB is like, oh yeah, I guess we'll keep you around for another year.
But we're cutting your budget just a little bit.
Yeah, while over at Smallville, and because I was not, comparing the shows, but Jeffrey Bell had to bring up Smallville when he, when Jasmine brought the people into the room and the motorcycle guy, the like 40-year-old guy starts taking his clothes off, and Jeffrey Bell was like, "Yeah, that's what we do over here. If you want to see the buff hot guys, go over to Smallville." So then I started thinking about the two shows and comparing the two shows, and the lighting for Smallville is so much better. It just looks so much better.
Yeah.
Well, I like these episodes of Fred on the run and out in LA because it just makes the show seem so much bigger. And even in season 1 of Angel, when the episodes, like the scripts were bad, I always thought that the show, like the universe of Buffy and Angel, just felt like a bigger universe because it was in LA. And so, yeah, I have a little problem with next season feeling just a little smaller in scope.
They shot on Van Nuys. Mona stood there smoking whether they were filming or not.
Mona.
Who's
The
Mona?
lady that was standing at the hotel just outside the hotel smoking.
In my notes, I just call her Scary Old Bag.
Yeah, her name's Mona, and then she tried to rip Amy's arm off as she walked by. And then the driver, he was an old Hollywood stuntman, Jack Gill. Of course, Jack Gill. That's a old-timey Hollywood name. And they set him on fire 3 times.
that's it.
That was a cool effect.
Yeah, that was great.
The hotel that Fred is staying at is the same one that was used in Memento.
Ooh,
It's such a seedy looking motel.
Yeah.
Oh, the movie Memento.
Memento. I'm trying to say it correctly.
Memento.
I'm trying to say
Mementos.
Memento Mori.
Yeah,
I
well,
learned
I
the
was
word
thinking
from
that
X-Files.
I was wondering if there was an episode
No.
that I was not remembering.
No. I like the story that, skipping back a little bit, the story that Connor tells Angel about, life with Holtz. He used to get tied to a tree, and
Oh
the
my
trick was
God.
he had to free himself. and find him, and it took him like 5 days to find him. Yep. But now he knows how to track, so
The character in the latest season of Orange is the New Black did that to had that done to her when she was a kid.
oh yeah. So yeah, this is classic body snatcher stuff. I like how Jasmine reaches out through everybody, and it's just like this hive mind, you know?
She's the Borgs.
Yeah.
She is the Borgs.
Basically, it's the Borgs.
Question for Kim and Illyrio. Did you, and I guess Robin and stuff too, why not? Did you think that Jasmine's voice coming out of the mouths of the other, randos, was that scary, like creepy, or was it just silly?
I thought it was cool.
Creepy.
The first time it happened, I was like, what's going on? Because I kind of wasn't looking at the screen, and then I looked up and I was like, oh, that's weird. And then as it went on, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Like, I get what they're trying to do, but it was weird.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh God, what's going on? But then I was like, oh, they have to up the ante. Like, it was the natural progression.
Yeah.
Of
But
the hive.
they had
Also,
just-
they couldn't use the regular voices because then it would have taken longer to explain what was going on. But when you hear Gina Torres' voice, you're like, okay, got it.
Yeah.
Like instantly.
Yeah, and it's more of a threat, more of a menacing
Yeah.
thing because they are, what is it? Oh God, what's his name? Walking Dead. They are
Negan?
Negan. Yeah.
What?
I have no idea what
Like-
you're talking about.
It's the same idea. The saviors, Negan is the boss. They're so afraid of him that everybody is Negan, and it's a totalitarian. I'm sorry, I'm finishing up my semester in Western Civ, and so everybody
Yeah.
is like of the same mind, and everybody is Negan. And you ask them who they are, I am Negan.
I am Spartacus.
I'm Spartacus. I was going to
Yes.
say.
Yeah. It's
Find us
Negan
at
if Negan could
Spartacus.com.
take over. Nice. If Negan could take over everybody's mind.
Yes, if it was supernatural.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is that show still on?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen the last season. Don't tell me that. I'm catching up
But we
on
start
Netflix.
seeing the guy goes on fire and he's like, "Don't be afraid, Fred." This kind of affects Jasmine. Her hand starts smoking.
Yeah.
That
Mm.
was weird.
So,
I'm
oh, good.
no, that's okay. I was gonna say I'm just continuity wise, like her hand was bleeding, but then when they did like the cutaways and stuff, her hands were totally fine. And I was like, guys, come on, you gotta be better. And
Now oh, that's what you're about to say.
no, but her hands were bleeding, then they weren't bleeding, and then they were bleeding again. I was like, come on, guys. And those are the stupid things that I recognize. And what else is it? Yeah. Anyways, carry on.
Well, but okay. In the next episode, though, we do see that when she absorbs the wounds, she heals them almost instantly.
Yeah.
So
I like that we learned that Connor is secretly listening to Lauren's Streisand collection.
He knows who Streisand is, but he doesn't know who Houdini is. I thought there'd be more. I thought when what did he say? Someone said, "Oh, he Houdini'd it," and he's like, "Well, what does that mean?" I was surprised there aren't more times where Connor was like, "What does that mean?" He's not. He hasn't grown up with pop culture references, so I don't understand. Like everyday conversations, he should be halfway confused.
He's
So
like
I
the
just
opposite
don't-
of Anya.
Yeah.
Not enough fish out of water.
Yeah, and the last and the only person he's growing up with is like his life is basically what, like 1700s, pop culture.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fred is wanders off and she falls down a hill and she goes in that cave and she runs into Hoggle. And
So,
yeah.
okay. I mean, I enjoyed this demon and this interaction, but it left me going, what was the point of that?
yes,
Yeah.
It was like it was just filling time.
it was like filling
Yeah.
time.
She
Same.
says she's new to the whole fugitive thing, but if you remember, she was a fugitive for 5 years in Pylea, so she should be like, squatting down in caves and taking care of herself, you know. So I don't know. So yeah, he ends up having a collection of hands.
Rubber hands.
Yeah.
Very rubber.
And Fred has to kill him because he gets hungry. But yeah, this is when Fred I think she's just so super brave. I mean, this is like the most ridiculous plan, and that it works is ridiculous. But still, I just love watching this whole thing where she's just luring everybody to the bookshop and making it so Jasmine arrives and she does the whole magic bullet. Yeah.
That was a
And-
serious gamble. It was pretty awesome. I love it.
She's great in these couple of episodes. Just really great.
And Jasmine actually gives Ted some great news. He's that there wasn't any second gunman. So, Steph, do you have that piece of trivia? Because I have another thing.
No, it must not have interested me.
Jeffrey Bell said there in the commentary that Jasmine telling Ted that Oswald acted alone was sort of a punishment for him. He was of the opinion that one of the most devastating things for conspiracy theorists is to find out that there's no conspiracy.
Oh, let's see. I'm not interested.
Interesting.
But yeah, Fred should be pretty happy that Jasmine showed up and that she stood in front of Angel so she could fire a bullet through her to send the blood into Angel. And that, you know, the bullet didn't get lodged in her, you know.
So I had flashbacks to an X-Files episode here, Robin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the episode
Now
Folie
he
à
perks
Deux,
up.
where you know, Mulder was being held hostage by the guy who thought his boss was a bug monster.
Right.
And the police or the SWAT, FBI rather, come into the office where they were being held hostage. And the guy is telling Mulder, like, look behind you. Look, just look, take a look. And he turns around and he sees the monster. That's the feeling I got when Fred was telling Angel, just turn around and look. Just look right now. Look.
Right.
Yeah.
Is great. And yeah, she almost got like strangled by him. I think Connor mentions that Angel ruins everything. And then Ted burns his own bookstore down like happily.
That was amazing.
Yeah, like that was good that they showed that Jasmine's effect on you. You didn't care about yourself. That you cared so much about what she wanted. You did what she said. So then later on, with Connor, you know, like hesitates when it comes to Cordelia.
And I love when everybody else finds out about Angel and they're just like talking about it as if Angel turned evil again.
Yes.
It's just, I just love these, like, these are like normal conversations that they'd have about like a case of the week or like the ongoing drama of something going on, you know, but it's in service of Jasmine.
Yep.
So it's so much more interesting. It's just an interesting twist, I should
Well,
say.
I think Jasmine as a villain is interesting because she's so unlike any other villain we've had before.
Well, and she's so threatening. Like yes, the what was the demon and it was nighttime and the big horn thing that they fought him and they couldn't kill him.
Was that just the beast?
The beast. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
I was trying.
and they can't kill her. They can't, you know, they're so
Not yet.
powerless against her.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Angel
Angel
has
is sad. Angel's
something new to know
sad.
about.
Yeah. So when you find out about Jasmine, you like immediately feel sad that you're not, I guess, at one with her anymore.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's like quitting smoking.
She's
Well,
the
it's
best.
like, yeah, it's like when you've had happiness and it's gone.
Yeah. Like smoking.
Smoking is not enjoyable. I don't understand why
I certainly
I
enjoy
beg to
it.
disagree.
I don't understand why people have such trouble
Nicotine's
stopping.
a hell of a drug.
It's amazing.
Mm.
Although
Really?
I had one recently and I was like nauseous the rest of the day. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I'm so happy that I was, but I'm also like depressed that the one time I was like, what the hell? It
I
didn't
think
do
I was
anything good for me.
brainwashed as a child for those non-smoking commercials. Do you guys have those in the
Same.
US?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
of course.
We have some
'Cause there's-
horrific ones. I'm like, I'm
Smokers
done with
are
smoking.
yogurt,
You don't need to
Jim.
horrify me during Wheel of Fortune. You know?
There's one called Joanne that I remember, and it was like the 60s song Joanne. And this girl, like a teenage girl, is like smoking in her bathroom, trying to hide it. And then she morphs into like this old lady. Like it's years of her smoking. And then it's like she can't speak. She has to speak through like one of those voice boxes in your neck. And
This
I
woman
was
is
like,
only 29.
I remember seeing that as a teenager, or not even like a preteen, and I was like, I'm never smoking.
Yeah, we have a whole floor of those patients who get these tumors cut out of their throats and their jaws removed, and they look like Frankenstein monster.
Jeez.
Some of them, yeah.
Because in Canada here, they put like cadavers, like lungs and hearts and like smoking. They put the pictures on the cigarette boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I don't know. Did they do that in the U.S.? I don't.
Oh
think so.
hell no!
They do that here. I'm like, why are
They have freedom.
Yeah.
Tobacco lobby is very, very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So I like this whole thing where Fred breaks down and she's really upset that, you know, she's been on her own, and it just kind of like gets to her now that finally somebody is there that understands and is just as depressed. And she says, "Oh, I'm not a champion like you." And Angel kind of insists that she actually is, because she's done this by herself. This is such a great Fred episode.
Yeah, it's been like a week. Didn't she say it's
Yeah.
been a week?
Yeah.
A lot of time has passed.
And she could have left. I don't think keeping her there.
Right. And so the Jasminites almost find them, but Fred gets to do something she's been waiting a long time to do.
What?
Is make out with Angel.
Oh. I was like, sneak into a woman's bedroom and steal her blood? What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's a couple of things in this episode that are just cheap. Like that. Like there's no
Excuse me?
There's no point to that.
It's a good
It's fan
cheap
service.
I like it. It's Fred kissing Angel. That's really like, whoa, you know, and I don't know. And it's just like
Kiss that launched 1,000 fanfics.
yeah. But it's also, I don't know, it's kind of like just a little indulgence into what people were theorizing when Fred first came to the show, that she was going to be paired off with Angel, and you know, and it's kind of weird at this point, but it's also, I don't know, funny.
Cheap.
Yeah. Trope.
I just like this episode a lot more, I guess.
Well, and then okay, they go into Cordy's bedroom, and then Angel falls through the window, which is funny.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna like bleed Cordelia, and she wakes up and grabs Angel's arm.
That scared me. I'm not gonna lie.
That's cheap too, because there was no point in that. It was just for a surprising.
Yeah, and it
break.
scared the shit out of me because I'm like, I was waiting for it to happen. I knew it was gonna happen, and I was just like, oh, and it happened. And I still jumped like a dummy. It was.
Well, it was cheap, Karen. Sorry.
I know.
Yeah, it's cheap,
I'm
so
cheap.
don't talk about it.
I'm cheap. What can I say?
So meanwhile, Jasmine is having Nakey time with overweight bikers. And then she comes out of her room and there's this huge green light. And Connor's like, what happened to those people? And she's like, I ate them. And Connor's like, okay.
That green light, I want it.
Yeah, Jeffrey Bell said they used a green light so you would get the feeling that something's not right.
Right.
Thanks, Jeffrey. We got it already.
I think any light
Cheap,
would have
Jeffrey.
made us
Cheap.
realize
It's pretty
it
cheap,
wasn't right.
Jeffrey.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeffrey. I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all.
But happy birthday nonetheless.
Oh,
No, I get it. Never mind.
okay, Robin. This trivia explain that Cordy was going to be the big bad, but she's due right now. She would give birth to something else, animatronic spider, or a dirty, or a dirty, or a hand puppet.
I don't know. Is that something that was in the commentary?
Yeah.
Oh.
They didn't know until they got into the season. Yeah, animatronic spider or a hand puppet.
Awesome. You know, facing a giant spider at the end of anything is pretty awesome. So Lauren gets dejasmified, and then Lauren plays the traitor and lures Wesley and Gunn up.
Can I tell you for a split second, because I didn't know what was happening, I thought that Angel was in Lauren's body for a second when he went down the stairs.
Interesting.
Because he said, oh, now the part of whatever is going to be played by whatever. I was like,
Yeah.
is that Angel in Lauren? And so then I was like, damn it, it wasn't. I was like, oh, that would have been so funny.
They just suddenly body swapped?
Yeah. Well, I thought no. Okay, let me explain more. I thought them getting Cordelia's blood would help them with the spell somehow.
Uh-huh.
And I thought that the spell was that Angel would take over Lauren, and that way he would lure all the other ones up there. That's what I thought was happening. But alas, it wasn't. And I think it would have been super funny if it was. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and did you notice that while Lauren was under Jasmine's spell, he didn't drink?
No.
Oh, I didn't notice that either.
Yeah, he's drinking again now that he's out from under her spell.
Oh, she really is evil.
But free ice cream. So
I'm lactose intolerant. Fuck her.
Aw. After Wesley and Gunn are taken care of, then they have to get Connor, and I'm not going to say the quote, but Wesley offers to help. But when they turn Connor, all of a sudden he tricks them and starts shouting out the door that they're here, and that's how the episode ends. So
how the hell did he not get turned?
Why didn't it work on Connor?
He's her father.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Right?
Ugh.
So what? Maybe it doesn't have an effect on him.
Mm-hmm. Might be different.
I don't get it.
What?
It should have worked.
Sometimes when a teenager and a 32-year-old woman have sex, she gives birth to a fully grown black woman. What part don't you get?
Or an animatronic spider.
I stand corrected.
Or an animatronic. Amniotic animatronic.
Oh no, no. I draw the line.
I think it's just different because he's the dad, you know.
Yeah.
So.
That's stupid.
Cheap. Kind of cheap.
Yep.
All right. So that's all the notes I have. You guys want to say anything else about
I got
this
it.
episode?
I got it. I get it. I get why it doesn't work on him.
Why?
He was
Why
never
not?
under her spell to begin with. He's just suffering from what
think
all of
so?
us dopes with kids have, which is unconditional love for your child, no matter
their
how
child.
horrible she might be.
Well, that's true.
I love
That's
my
what's going
kid.
on.
So she has to devour bikers. But, you know.
Have you met my daughter? I wouldn't question it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you guys want to go to rate it.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go? Well, maybe we should have our guest go first.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
thank you, Robin. I really do love this episode a lot, but I don't like the scene where Fred is in the sewer or pit or whatever she is with
It's a cave.
the demon. Whatever. It's too kind of superfluous. The and campy. It doesn't feel like it belongs, and yeah, it breaks the tension. But I don't want the tension broken. I like that it feels like invasion of the bodies, snatchers, thriller, and then all of a sudden it is kind of is just. I would have preferred they use the time to do something else with Fred, have her explore some other angle or what have you. But
Or Angel.
other than that, I mean, I think it's great. When she shot Angel with the gun, that was very smart and gutsy of her, and it's a great Fred episode, and lots of good stuff at the bookstore and the singing. You know, open mic night. Yeah, so I'm going to give it 33 and a third out of 37 cats named Jasmine.
Wait, what does that work out to out of 10?
It works out to be about a 9 out of 10.
Okay. Thank goodness you figured that out for me. 'Cause I was like, math. Stephanie. Kim.
Kim, go Kim.
I'm on the same page. However, like I didn't love this episode. Like I was kind of bored for a little bit, but I don't know. I liked it, but I wasn't blown away. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Green glowing lights.
Okay, Illyrio.
I thought this episode was really cool. As a Fred episode, I loved it. The whole idea of shooting Angel through Jasmine to get her blood in him was brilliant. I really felt bad for Fred leaving without eating breakfast. I'm giving this episode 8 out of 10 untouched eggs.
Okay.
I agree. Shooting Angel, shooting Jasmine, shooting Angel through Jasmine, that's a cool twist. But I take away a point for the demon in the cave that doesn't even matter. The cheap make out session between Fred and Angel, and the Cordelia woke up for a split second. Okay, 7 out of 10. Ebony goddesses.
Well, I disagree with pretty much all of you because this is probably my last favorite episode of season 4. Spoiler alert. I think this is. I love this as a Fred episode. I love how it goes out into the city and we see the effects of Jasmine and the whole hive mind. It's pretty awesome. I can deal with Hoggle in the cave. It's fine. I don't think it's like 2 scenes maybe. And just the whole plan to, Fred against the world. And then, she finally gets Angel on her side and, and then just that final punch of the ending of like Connor, like setting off the alarm. This is kind of like Donald Sutherland pointing a finger at what's her name and going, oh, at the end of the Body Snatchers. So I'm going to give it my last 10 for season 4, 10 out of 10 Mick Ultras. Expensive Mick Ultras, I'll say, Steph.
I don't know what a McUltra is.
It's a low-calorie beer.
Less filling.
What is an MK Ultra?
Secret CIA program to create sleeper agents.
It's 11
Right?
from Stranger Things.
I was going to say it's... Yeah.
In the United States?
Yeah. No? Pretty sure that's what it is.
Anyone?
That and it's a Muse song.
Okay.
Right. Jason Mewes? All right, so that was an 8.3 for this episode. It would have been much lower, but at least Matt and I had some sense to us. So
Yeah.
I think
Smart
you're
enough,
grading
people.
this on a curve.
yeah, my the curve of my own thoughts. Curve your enthusiasm. Quotes?
I've got a quote.
Okay.
We don't need to use the evil tools of the man when we have the woman.
Oh, hold on. Let me grab my note. I thought Our Lady of the Perpetual Sea Breeze was the real deal till the divine Miss J walked right through that door and into my ass,
quote.
which is where my heart is physiologically. I can show you an X-ray.
That was cute.
I had a full LOL moment.
Not a huge demand for photo books of serial killer autopsies when you're living in a utopian wonderland. You know what I mean?
That was mine.
Do you have another one, Steph?
Tonight, the role of Judas Iscariot will be played by Krivlorn Swath of the Deathwalk clan.
Yes. And my quote is, which translates to, I wish I could be in Fred's skull so I could explode her brain and kill her for Jasmine.
I assume that's what you were doing.
How do I convey sign language through a podcast?
Oh,
I got it. I got it.
Okay.
that was good.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
That's terrible, but good.
Shall we move on to sacrifice?
Possibly offensive, but okay.
Very offensive.
Oh, I was offended.
What? Come on. It's really giving it a quote.
Insensitive.
Oh, Illyrio, you
It's
must
okay.
be very
I can't hear him.
you must be very happy with this episode, being a fan of The Tick, because the creator of The Tick, Ben Edlund, wrote this episode. This is when he joins the writing staff of Angel and earns a producer credit with this episode. He was on Firefly. They brought him over to prepare him for the following season if the WB decided to renew Angel.
Mhm.
Spoilers, they did.
He goes on to become an overrated writer on Supernatural.
Yeah. I met him in a press line. He was cool.
I really like his I like his episodes. He's
Yeah, I can't remember certain episodes that he's done of Supernatural, but I wasn't.
Basically, all of the ones that feel like Darren Morgan, if Darren Morgan wasn't trying very hard, he wrote those.
You mean like the one for the latest season of X-Files, where he just basically pulled a script out of a drawer and was like, let me just change some names.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
You guys mind taking a little 5-10 minute break? I need to check upstairs and make sure people are asleep.
Oh, sure.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
I don't think he was asking us, guys.
We say no. So we're live. Do we want to, I don't know, anybody have a musical number they want to perform? Stand up.
thanks for reminding me we were live, so I wouldn't say anything. I don't know what I would have said.
Buffy Summers, apparently. I don't have that YouTube channel open, and I can't see where the chat is, but
Why don't you sing the Angel or the Redemption Cast theme song for us, Robin?
no. Oh, don't make me sing.
I can't believe you are turning down an opportunity to sing your own parody song.
Do you still do your trivia nights?
No. I don't do that, or karaoke. I wish I did, but
You'll
They
pick
did
it back up again later, maybe?
no. Well, at least not at the place that I was at. They decided they wanted to go with somebody that was actually in their employ that they were already paying, so they didn't have to pay more money to an actual guy who Rights trivia.
Gotcha.
So
Cheapskates.
yeah, right. Lay into them, Steph. Cheap.
I am an authority on
The
the
word
matter.
of the day is cheap.
So did you guys hear the news?
What? I mean, yeah.
Russia's out of the Olympics.
Oh yeah,
the
I heard
whole
that.
country.
Wow. Is it because of like juicing or?
Yeah.
Speaking of
Did you
magic
say-
bullet.
Did you say juicing?
Are we still live? Are we still live?
Juicing. Be
I-
careful, just like
my-
Joss.
My
Not
stuffed
Josh.
nose, my stuffy nose doesn't help with things sometimes.
And also, they're moving the capital of Israel to Jerusalem. Jerusalem instead of Tel Aviv.
Gotcha. Oh.
Did you say Jerusalem? Oh.
Southern California is on fire
Again?
again.
Still?
Wow.
Yeah,
Last time we talked to you, you were
I know.
under
It's on
threat
fire
of being
again.
burned alive.
It just started like 2 days ago or something. It was 31,000 acres as of this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah.
That's what's in the news.
Well, I wore boots for the first time today.
Oh, please.
Like ever?
Elaborate.
Hello.
No, this year, even though it wasn't that cold, it was just wet. I'm hoping to wear my vests and sweaters this year. We didn't get to wear coats and sweaters last year.
Interesting.
No, it's not. It's really not.
So, shall we return to Angel
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes,
on
yes.
Hill? Let me just make a note of the time here. Okay. Hey, is anybody in the chat talking Illyrio? Because I was just wondering about that.
No, just that one comment from Buffy Summers.
All right. So yeah, are you happy to know about that whole Ben Edlin thing? Or
I think it's hilarious. I've always been a big fan of the Tick.
So this Connor is alerted the Jasminites, the Jazz Maniacs, and it's so weird. Like Angel basically blocks the door to get everybody to escape. It's going to be recurring at the end of this episode. But he takes the opportunity to pound his son's face in and then throw him out a window.
Something I did not expect.
And it's like, oh, he's just trying to knock him out so he can take him with. No, he just leaves him in the road. And they're like, why didn't you bring him? And he's like, well, what if I did bring him? Then, it might be worse.
You'd be able to find us, man.
Yeah.
They need to go underground.
So as they're in the car, we hear updates about Jasmine's takeover of Los Angeles, and apparently the Catholics are okay with replacing their Messiah with Jasmine. So, Jasmine's a big thing.
Yeah, well, look at her.
Yeah,
She looks like Gina Torres.
Everyone's under her spell.
She's
She
an
does-
ebony goddess. She's
she doesn't
gorgeous.
look like Jesus from The Walking Dead.
Did I tell you that I saw her downtown
Who?
here?
Who?
Oh,
Gina Torres.
Really?
When they're filming Suits.
Oh, yeah.
cool.
They do. I guess the outside of where she lives, or they pretend where she lives, is near the Whole Foods. So I was going there and I saw the suit set, and then briefly saw which could have been her stand-in. But I was just like, oh, that looks like Jessica, and which is, anyways, invigorating
soon to
story,
be-
guys.
Was she stunning?
I saw her like figure. She was very far away. It's not like I was like right beside her. I'm making out like, guys, I met her. She was great. No, she was across.
Why'd you get her on the podcast?
She was across the street. She's awesome. Anyways.
So she takes care of Connor, heals him up.
Yes, not only does she heal herself, but she can heal Connor.
And then there's that whole gas station scene. Is that where wasn't that when they were talking through?
Yes, that's when
kid?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and he goes, "Oh, that's new."
Yeah.
See, I wish they had just taken a little bit more of Cordelia's blood and put it like in a spray bottle and just like spritz people.
Right?
That would have been awesome. But
They come and just put it in the water supply.
Yeah. I like
That's
this. They show another example of people helping people, because they love Jasmine. And what else is there? They're like sharing money with each other. This guy, like his hands are like dirty. And so the other guy is like lending his tie for him to like dry his hands off on. So just, what's so bad about following Jasmine if all this great stuff is going on? Sadie disagrees.
Sadie is snorting.
You sure that was Sadie?
So they abandon the Angel Mobile and they flee to the sewers. And I don't know, stop me if you guys have anything you want to say. Like that's it. And we go back to Jasmine and Connor, and Jasmine calls the cure that they were using as like black deceitful magic, and Connor's like, "Oh, freaking magic!"
Oh yeah, Connor hates magic.
What a sourpuss!
The magics.
Maybe
Magic
don't be
is
on
the
a
worst.
supernatural TV show, Connor. Punk.
Your face got healed by magic just now. Wouldn't you call that magic?
No, he's awful.
Oh,
Why do I have Angel knows the sewers, gun ain't eating no rats, forget Cordy? Did they say like forget Cordelia?
Oh no,
brain dead, so we
yeah, they're like they should forget her. I forget exactly what the quote was, but yeah, it was tough to hear about Cordy being brain dead. I think they mentioned that in this episode or the last episode. So, yikes.
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot why she was out. And then I was like, oh yeah, she gave birth to Gina Torres.
That does a number on you. Even if you poof her in a green light and she comes out fully dressed. Was she fully dressed? I forget.
I think so.
I thought she was wearing like a dress, but I don't know. So suddenly the floor opens up beneath Angel and he nearly gets impaled on a bunch of wooden spikes. And we have a gang of young kids living on the sewers.
yay!
no boo.
One of them, of course, remembers Gunn and his rep.
Oh yeah, his rep.
I don't know why, but when they put gun around other black people, it drives me insane. I get so irate because I don't know if it's because they think, oh, this is how black people talk, or Gunn plays it up, but it just drives me crazy. He's like, what, your boy? Hey, son. I'm like, stop it.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot of sun. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Justice League movie when Aquaman was like, yeah, my main man or whatever.
You're getting it wrong. He goes, my man.
My man.
My
whatever.
Man. Yeah.
Oh God, that was terrible.
It's like when Patrick Stewart guest hosted on SNL and they did Love Boat: The Next Generation.
Really?
And Guinan was, Captain, my man, what seems to be the problem?
Oh, because they were doing an Isaac thing.
Well, because Guinan is a black woman.
No,
Yeah, but-
because Isaac, that's the way he talked.
Yeah.
Well, no, there wasn't. No, but they did Geordie LaForge as Isaac.
What? You can't have
did
two
two
Isaacs.
No.
That's why this was deliberately. Hey, we're gonna take Guinan as a black woman and really, I don't know, black
Riker
her up.
Gopher?
I don't know.
You know, I gotta say, the only sketch I remember from that episode was the very last one. You know, the one no one remembers, where he owned an erotic cake shop.
Mhm.
And,
I
no,
remember
he
that
went into the
sketch.
customer, or no, he owned it. He owned the erotic cake shop, and somebody came in looking for an erotic cake, and all the erotic cake ideas that Patrick Stewart had were women sitting on the toilet.
Yes, I remember that sketch.
That was, to me, the most brilliant, hilarious, awful, cruel thing to do to Sir Patrick Stewart.
Anyway, we go back.
Cleghorn. That was her name. That was her name. No one remembers Ellen Cleghorn. Let's just take a moment to remember Ellen Cleghorn.
I remember Ellen Cleghorn. She was
Yeah.
hilarious.
She was. But the world forgot.
Was she like the daughter of?
Do it. Do it. Say it. You wanted to say Foghorn, right? Come on, you gotta say Foghorn.
No, but wasn't her
Damn
dad?
it.
I say. Sorry. Go ahead, Steph.
Damn it,
Wasn't
Steph.
her dad like a Saturday Night Live alum?
No idea.
Ellen
Come on.
Cleghorns? No,
I don't know
don't know.
what you're talking
Okay,
about.
let's go back.
Buffy Summers in the chat says, no, just me. And then she says, Revertigo. Isn't that what Marshall called it on How I Met Your Mother? What?
Vertigo.
I can't remember that reference.
Me neither. Tell us more.
So back at the hotel, Jasmine, Connor finds out that Cordy's body is missing, and that Jasmine said she's a weakness, and she's put Cordy in as like a secret place. So guys, where did Cordy
She
go?
better not have eaten her.
Did she eat her? And
Better not
why
have
is
eaten
Connor?
her.
Why is Connor concerned about Cordy when he was not worried about Jasmine eating people?
Because he loves Cordy.
Yes, but Tom loved himself too when he was going to just stay in the shop and just burn.
Yeah, but we already proven that like Connor wasn't affected by the cure. So
Mhm.
yeah, I see what you're getting at.
But he was affected enough to be okay with Jasmine eating people.
Yeah, because that's rad.
Buffy Summers clarifying. When Lily started acting like she was in college when she would hang out with her college friends. And Google gives me the definition. It's insane plus ridiculous. Revertigo.
Awesome.
Definition: the change that happens to someone's personality when he or she spends time with someone from his or her past. So every time we get together.
So they go to the headquarters, the sewer headquarters of the Lost Boys, and for some reason I wrote down Angel, welcome to the Resistance. I have no idea why. But it might have been funny at the time. I do note that one girl is wearing a fashionable blue hard hat.
Okay.
Who's that girl?
Rufio.
Rufio.
This kid that gets lost that they have
Oh,
to
my
go
childhood.
find Matthew. Why
Fucking
why is Angel like so why are we invested in this kid? Is it because Angel is like, Connor, my son, we could have had this kind of like what's the deal with the kid?
He's an innocent.
Poor little white kid.
Yeah.
His parents got murdered by vampires. Now he feels guilty because he's a vampire.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, and there's this whole thing when Angel is like washing the blood off his hands, and you know, it's like a mix of Cordy's blood and Connor's blood. Yeah. The governor gives Jasmine a call and says he's going to hand over California, and the liberal elitist California now belongs to Jasmine. Except for Sunnydale, of course, because they got a whole thing they're dealing with.
But her emails, guys.
So Jasmine tells Connor that he's got to give his pain over, relinquish his pain, and Connor tenses up and goes, "I need my pain." No, all right. Star Trek 5 joke. Okay. Yeah, there's this whole thing where he like shoves his fingernails into her hand. So anyway,
that was really gross.
Yeah. Matthew runs away, and meanwhile, there's also these creatures running around in the sewers. So they kind of split up. And the kids turn on Angel. And
Gunn and Fred argue.
Yeah.
About the murder.
They're bringing back all the hits. They're bringing back Fred and Gunn arguing and street gangs.
All the parts we hate.
And xenomorphs that talked and then make us realize, oh, thank God xenomorphs never talked.
Yeah, so yeah, there's the wiki calls it the zealot demon, but also like they're also referred to as we loved her first demons. I guess people on the set, because Ben Edlund wrote this, they'd called the monster the Tick.
Oh, that's disgusting.
But it's a little bit of stop motion, and the guy is played by Jeff Ricketts, who, if you remember that name, he played English Watcher Weatherby in season 1, and he was on Buffy playing the same character for a couple episodes.
What?
He was one of the ones that was trying to hunt Faith down.
He was Weatherby?
He was Weatherby.
I don't remember who that is. I like the way this thing moves, and I like the way it talks and chitters, and
the
its
clicks.
little sad whine that it does. It's a really cool monster. I like it a lot.
It is creepy.
And there's the whole thing about Professor Seidel, like you said, and she says she'd rather be take emotion rather than being an emotionless shell. And I wrote again in my notes, I need my pain. But hey, if it didn't work the first time, might as well try it again.
And I sent you a private message about a thing we won't talk about.
Right.
Foreshadowing.
So yeah, these guys love Jasmine first, and Jasmine apparently is from their dimension. And
So they are an authority on Jasmine.
Yeah. And there was this whole thing where Jasmine needed a name in the whole bowling alley scene, and Fred gives her the name of Jasmine, and we find out that much like Mr. Mitzelplick, names take your power away. So Jasmine can be defeated by
I think they're from some early 90s computer game.
Really? Names take your power away. And there's this whole vampire.
Like shining Medusa's face into a mirror.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're very close. So just keep that in mind. There's this vampire being cut to pieces. He's being tortured for some reason. Oh, this guy is like the zealot is like, I don't know. He's all interested in how vampires work, I guess.
I thought it was that he didn't realize it was a vampire.
Yeah.
That he would that's how he would do humans, but the vampire wouldn't die. And he couldn't figure out why the vampire wouldn't die.
I don't know. I zoned out through most of these
Wesley
scenes.
had to teach him.
I don't know if you guys got more out of this, but I was just like, all right, here we go.
I was constantly asking myself, why doesn't this thing just kill Wesley? Rather than just, it's like, way to Bond villain it.
He's
Spider
got a
Pig.
monologue.
I'm going to tell
It
you
felt
everything.
cheap.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, one of our heroes punches a kid out in the streets.
Oh, Kim, I thought of you instantly.
That was my favorite part, guys. Like, no. I was just like, this is weird. Like, he just fully punched this kid in the face after he's screaming, help. I'm like, guys, if anyone's looking, a black guy punches out a little white kid. This is not good.
He's like, wait,
Oh,
Angel beat the
Jasmine
crap out
told
of
me
his.
to.
Yeah.
Oh, true. He could have used that defense. Jasmine told me to.
No, but as soon as they see him, they know who he is.
Yeah,
Because they're all
that's
the
true, that's
Borgs.
true.
We have a funny
Oh,
scene with Lauren giving the teenagers a lecture about using horrible name calling words. And yeah, so they have Matthew, but Matthew like wakes up and he's got Jasmine's voice, and now Jasmine knows where they are. And then suddenly Connor comes in, but he got a little bit of a voice change himself.
So so if he just steps into the light, he can be possessed by her?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I thought he had to like see her or hear her voice.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a car drove by with her voice. I have no idea.
Maybe. All right.
We're not told, so we just gotta kind of assume, I guess.
Accosted by a bum or some street preacher. Have you heard the good word about Jasmine? It's LA.
And then there's then Angel fights the bug monster, and we find out that he's got this talisman that will take you to another dimension where they all come from, and Angel realizes he's got to go to this other dimension in order to find out the name, and they all are holding the door, keeping Connor and the Jasmaniacs out, and Angel goes to the portal.
Well, it's not just the Jasmaniacs, isn't it? The National Guard.
Aren't they all Jasmaniacs?
Well, yeah, but it was like the National Guard didn't have guns.
Yeah, I don't know.
The lack of guns was very apparent.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, oh, that's right, soldiers. Yeah, I think Connor was leading all these soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a fight, and Jasmine is just standing in a hotel being covered with wounds, and then they're immediately healing. And I think this is like probably my favorite part of the episode, is that whole sequence.
Uh-huh.
But then Angel steps
Cool
into
effect.
CG world, and he's surrounded by all the bug monsters.
Oh, hell.
Yeah. And credits. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this episode.
Me neither.
It's really disappointing. You know, this paranoid arc, this really cool little arc they have going with Jasmine, that it just gets solved by there's this bug monster that lives in the sewer that came from this other dimension where Jasmine just happened to run into the bug monster, and the bug monster gives away the secret of Jasmine. It's like, ugh, I wish they kind of figure this out. I mean, I would have rather Wesley opened a book and it says right here, actually, that you have to find out Jasmine's name.
And I would rather they went around with a little spray bottle spritzing people.
It was like Chris Farley's character in Wayne's World. Do you remember that scene? Where he gave away everything in like 30 seconds, and like, that was a lot of information. Do you guys remember that? No, I guess it's just me.
I haven't seen Wayne's World in a long time, so it sounds familiar though. Yeah.
So, did the bug monsters defeat Jasmine?
I don't know. Did they? I mean, like I said,
I love her.
I zoned out rather.
I zoned out this episode. I'm not gonna lie. I zoned in and out.
Really?
And I was like, "Where are we?" Like I really did. Like I there were parts that I liked and parts I was just like, "This, get to the good stuff." Like I know you're leading up to the finale,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, ramp it up. Like the cliffhanger was pretty good. And I'm like, "Oh, this is kind of cool."
As soon as they hit the sewers, I'm just like, I'm done
Yeah.
caring. You know, because they run into this little gang of street urchins. It's like, oh, we got to deal with this nonsense again.
Always. It's like, when will they stop?
Yeah.
And I loved at the end, and I had to step away for a couple minutes, and maybe you guys already mentioned this, but isn't it weird how Wesley remembers at the very last second that Angel needs that orb? Like Angel was about to walk through a portal, never to be able to return.
That's
and
right.
Wes is like, Angel, you're going to need this.
I'm also glad that he spoke up and said, no, we can't go through before like Fred or Gunn jumped in it.
Yeah.
It was like, oh no, wait, ooh, too late.
What do you say? What would happen if they jumped through? They would have been obliterated.
Oh, they
can't
would have
breathe.
died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Britney Spears toxic on the other side.
Yeah.
Leave Brittany alone.
Yeah. So, do we want to rate this and then quote it up, and then I can read some feedback and
Let's
maybe
do
we'll have
it.
some other. Okay, guest. Rate it up.
Fred and Gunn arguing, street punks in the sewers, sewers. I liked the look of the monster and the way that it talked and moved, and I don't really have a problem with the way that they're setting up how they undo her. But I find this pretty like a meandering, mediocre mess of an episode. So I'm going to give it just 7 out of 10 talkie meats.
Right.
Talkie meats? What did you say?
Meats. Talkie meats.
Yeah.
Yeah, talkie meats. Come on.
What are talkie meats?
That's
You
what
really
the
weren't
monster.
paying attention.
He kept,
Oh, sorry. Durr. See, again, wasn't paying
Yeah.
attention.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I had to like think for a second, like, oh yeah, that's right. Kim?
Sure. Yeah. 7 out of 10. I have nothing to say about it. I was just like, blah. You know, maybe I'll even lower it. 6 out of 10. I want to get to the action. 6 out of 10 can't be bothered to come up with a rating system.
Illyrio?
Well, I have to say, I rather enjoyed this. Not as much as the last one, but I certainly didn't hate it. I, for one, thought the spider creatures could have been... I don't know, I didn't like that they made them so dumb. And I didn't like the whole James Bond villaining thing. Yeah, I don't like, when Gunn gets urban, because I don't think any of the writers know how to write any of that. So, still a passing grade for me. And I really did appreciate Wesley being all sleuthy. 6.5 out of 10 bright crosses to the kid.
Steph?
well, I mean the episode was enjoyable, but it, like you said, it was like a right turn, like we're going down the highway of Jasmine, and we take this quick right turn into the sewers with these kids and this clickety bug monster. So it was just weird. 7 out of 10 Fasty Stepford Wives.
To me, this episode is half good, and the half that sucks is as soon as they go underground, it's just boring from then on, and it gives us like, oh, here's our answer. It just, I don't know. It just could have been done better. But the
Sadie,
lead
stop.
up, the
Sorry. Sadie was licking her foot. She's got a habit of licking her paw. And I forgot I was not muted.
Yeah. So I'm really sad that this arc comes to this point. I was really much more invested in what was going on before and was really excited by the whole situation. So it's half a good episode. So it's 5 out of 10.
Wow.
Fashionable blue hard hats. And that brings this episode to a 6.3.
Also, they were looking for Matthew. It's like, who gives a fuck about some stupid kid?
Exactly.
I like it when shows like go on detours sometimes. Like there's this main plot chugging along, but it's like, hey, we're gonna tell this quick little side story or something.
Oh, but the reason they were looking for Matthew was because he'd be jasmined up, and then she'd know where they are.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true. That did need to happen. But what I mean is, I don't mind it when we go off track a little bit to do a little world building or a little shading, but this wasn't worth it. This wasn't just interesting enough to do it.
Quotes.
Way to go, Catholic Church.
Time for the big fight scene.
Yeah, it was good.
Nice.
That was actually a really cool fight scene, I'm not gonna lie.
Fight scenes are always great.
But guys, he only drinks pig's blood. It's true you gotta give an undead fella points for that, right? I mean, unless you're into the whole kosher thing. But I mean, you're not, well, you don't look. Okay. Quarantine guy shutting up.
So that's our big plan. Just keep running. Oh, I hear some good things about Belize.
My quote is, "That's right. It's the big bad free will gang gassing up."
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's weird, really, us running into you like this. I mean, we're professional monster killers. Or we were.
I like that.
You didn't tell me that the sun came back out. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you the sun came back out.
That's why they were down in the sewers, because of the...
I know. I just love how he
They never go
delivers
up to
that
check.
line.
I love how they never go up to check.
That's shit my mother says to me all the time. Oh, no one told me that. Oh, let me. She'll go and say it.
All right. Any more quotes?
No.
All right. Let me get into some feedback here. First feedback.
Let me read. Wait. Let me read this one. Am I
Okay.
on mute? And
Sadie. Shh.
And that's why when we use words like ugly ass and beastie, we can sometimes do more damage than we intend to. It's all about sticks and stones, my young friends. That's all. A little life lesson, one to grow on. Knowing is half the...
That was good.
I've got a quote. It's not a funny quote, but I really like the writing here. Every moment that passes, I grow closer to my followers. I feel what they feel. I see what they see. We're fusing together like the cells of a single body. They're my eyes, my skin, my limbs, and, if need be, my fists.
Yeah, I like that. I liked her delivery of that.
Mortal Kombat!
Oh, I actually had one more quote written down here. I need my pain.
We get
Okay.
it.
Why are you quoting one of the most panned Star Trek films in the history of Star Trek films? Stop.
I have a question for you, Illyrio. What does Jasmine need with a starship?
Starship. Jim.
Whoa, he
Don't
really
just
made
doubt
himself
the
look
Almighty, Jim. What are you doing? I love it.
All right, shall I read feedback from Bruce?
Bruce.
The Beach Boys and Open Mic Night are great at showing us how happy Jasmine's followers are, but the casual hunt for Fred and the worshippers who are invited upstairs and never mentioned again provide increasing dissonance as the episodes go along. Later, the reveal of what's happening to those people gets dropped on us and Connor, and we move on. All of that works for me, as does the ever-increasing amount of creepiness from Jasmine. The drawback to that is that we never thought she was a good thing in the first place and have already seen her face through Fred's eyes, so it isn't as creepy as it could have been. But it's still pretty creepy. Once she's figured it out, Fred's plan seems both very simple, getting Jasmine's blood from point A to point B, and absurdly complicated, requiring a perfect setup to get the right trajectory to produce the required results. The thing which attracts people to conspiracy theories about events like the JFK assassination is disbelief that a lone outcast with a gun can change the course of world history, that there must be some higher force at work. The magic bullet flips that conflict around and naturally enough sides with the idea that one person can make a difference in a good way this time, whether it's Fred in the bookshop with a revolver or Oswald in the book depository with a rifle. According to the episode, they were both acting alone. Did we spend 10 minutes in the demon cave just so Fred could make the blood connection? Did we spend 10 minutes in the sewer just so the little boy could lead Jasmine to the team? Those scenes are okay, but seem like filler to me. Oh well, Fred finally gets that kiss from the brave man who rescued her, the vampire she just rescued. Then there's the anti-religion element about non-believers. Pretty good episodes. Bruce. And
Bruce is so smart. See, I just don't think Jeffrey Bell realized that
Bruce is smart.
That put the JFK and the conspiracy and this whole
What?
I don't think he even knows Bruce.
I know, but I think Bruce is seeing something that the writers didn't even realize.
What are you talking about? The whole thing is called the magic bullet.
Okay, whatever.
Oh, there goes Steph.
Sorry. Maybe you don't like. All right. We have a feedback from Ray. He says, I don't like the way that we got here as far as Cordy Connor sex and ruining the Cordy character in general. But now that we are here, I have to say that I really like the Jasmine arc. It's creepy, but in a fun kind of way that makes it enjoyable to watch because of how out of character everyone is being. It certainly has its flaws, but overall I enjoy it. It's great that the show gives Fred this showcase and a chance to shine. Again, Fred proves she is a fighter, resourceful and smart. You can see how she survived five years in Pylea. I think Amy Acker does great with what she's given. The hive mind aspect of Jasmine speaking and acting through others is one thing that really creeps me out. And the open mic scene during the Magic Bullet is one of my favorites in all of season 4, maybe of the whole series. Everyone worshiping Jasmine and Angel and Connor singing karaoke cracks me up. Even under the influence of a magical spell, Angel still loves Barry Manilow. The gang just running into the spider demon thing by chance, and he knows how to defeat Jasmine, and Wesley is able to figure it out with minimal clues. Does take a big dose of SOD, though. It's a pretty big deus ex machina for sure, but I'm willing to roll with it, I guess. Overall, these are pretty good episodes. I think Magic Bullet is better than Sacrifice, though, if I had to pick one.
I'd agree.
I agree.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that's
And
all
it's
our
their
feedback.
loss, Bruce, that they don't know you. It's really their loss.
Hey, everyone. If you want to be like Bruce and send us feedback, you can do that by sending us an email at.
RedemptionCast@gmail.com.
You can also send us a tweet, 280 characters worth, even, at RedemptionCast. You can go to the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/potential.
Potential Cast.
And potentialcast.blogspot.com is where episodes are located. Old school style, where you got to click a link and all that jazz, man. Hey, Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Is there anything you want to plug?
Sure, I'd like to plug my podcast, Hooplecast, which was a podcast about Deadwood, but since we wrapped Deadwood, we're covering premieres of HBO dramas, and we most recently covered Big Love and 5 Days, and then next on the agenda will be John from Cincinnati and Tell Me You Love Me. Just all the favorites, all the shows that people remember when they were HBO subscribers. We're talking about all of them. So find us at hooplecast.com.
Are you doing these in chronological order?
Yes, we are. So we are up through like 2006.
Wow.
Are you going to do Sex and the City?
Only doing dramas.
Oh, that is a drama.
That is a drama.
There's a difference between dramas and a show with a lot of drama on it.
I mean, Robin, terrible.
I need my jokes. Sorry about that. Did you want to ask me what's coming up next?
Hey,
What's coming up
Robin.
next, Robin?
What's coming? Silence, guest.
I'll do what I want.
Hey, Robin. What Matt said.
Okay. We have the final 2 episodes of season 4.
What?
Yeah. They are called Peace Out and Home. And my opinion spoiler is just hold on till the end.
So, Kim, do you want to predict what Peace Out's going to be about?
Not really. I think Angel's going to completely take care of all those spider crawly animatronic things, and he's going to have some stupid one-liner at the end where he says peace out and he goes back to that's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw the next title when Netflix came up. So hopefully I'm very wrong.
I hope whoever says peace out tops it off with Girl Scout. And what do you think home means?
Well, he goes back home to Los Angeles. And what's her face? Jasmine goes somewhere, and Cordelia goes somewhere, which will be her permanent home.
Oh, I've got all sorts of stories for next week. It's going to be fun. Also, Tim Minear returns next year. Tim Minear returns to Angel to do that season finale. So get you excited for that.
Very.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, bye, everyone.
I need no one. Happy birthday, Amy Acker.
Happy birthday,
Happy
everybody.
birthday, Amy
See you in
Acker.
20 minutes, Amy.
Bye.